So, welcome back to Pon's Tinkering Garage, and this is a Tailor's approach to cloth sewing in Blender Revisit. We are still in the outside series, and this is the second part of it, the second and the last part of it. And we're gonna make this. So in this series, we're gonna make like this set of clothing, and the outside consists of two piece of clothing, and that is the outside itself, and then also the trousers. And first, in the previous video, we have created this thing, the dress itself, the outside dress itself, and in this part, the second and the last part, we're gonna create this trousers, right? So yeah, it's gonna be great, and yeah, let's do it. So let's go to our our blend file and our previous blend file, and let's hide our background, also our light, and this is our dress, and let's hide it for now. So this is our model, and the model came with the request itself, as I've previously mentioned. So yeah, so let's hide everything. And now, so I've brought up the same template but for the trousers, right? So let's hide our model for now, and this is what we're gonna measure for this second part where we're gonna do the trousers. So take a look at that, and if you understand what this is, so just go to the next part where we're gonna do the next thing. So don't worry, we're gonna create this entire thing from scratch for those of you who want to go along. So this is what we're gonna create, and so yeah, let's do it. So just like anything, the first part of making trousers is, well, measurements. So for the measurements, just like the previous videos, we're gonna use like two shapes, and the first is the circle, and the second is this practically stick that we used previously. So yeah, so let's do it. So the first measurements, we're gonna duplicate that, and the first measurement, we're gonna do the circumference. So let's bring our template, and let's bring this duplicated circle to our template, and that is our waist, right? This is our straight waist, and we're gonna explain about the angle thing later. However, for now, let's just do the straight version, and let's make this a little bit smaller, and let's apply our shrink wrap modifier, and let's pick the model, go to project, and check the negative, and set the offset to be 5 millimeters. So that is our straight waistline. So the next one is our hips, the hip line, and well, yes, that's where it should be. So yeah, so we're gonna make it a little bit bigger, and before we reapplying the shrink wrap, and that is our this is our straight hip line. So the next one, we're gonna go to the thigh, and for this we're gonna offset it not right to the right, because this is the left and the right. So because you have like a set of legs, and the left one and the right one, so we have to measure each, I guess. And yeah, let's make it smaller, and let's bring that to the back, maybe a little bit bigger, and yeah, let's shrink wrap. Now you will notice that there is a bit of it that kind of snapped to the right thigh, And to fix that, just make sure that your circle doesn't cross the middle point, right? So that should be good. And yeah, that is our thigh. And we're gonna go down to our knee, something like that. And let's see, maybe we should recenter in the y-axis, and we're gonna duplicate that again, and we go to the ankle. So that is our ankle, and yeah, that is already centered, and that's great. So this is our circumference, right? And we've got the waist, we've got the hips, we've got the thigh, and we've got knee, and also we've got the ankle. Now, first, let's talk about the angle, like the angle waistline, waist and hip line. Just like I've actually explained in the previous video about the nature, the curvature of our body. So for those of you who doesn't really watch it, let's let's redo the drawing again. So you see, this is our neck, right? And this is our crotch, and we go down, and this is our leg. So we've got that, we've got our head there, and this is our body, right? So this is our crotch. So our body is not exactly straight from top to bottom. You see, our torso, for example, it's not a straight line. Instead, it's kind of more of a curve, right? So this is our hips, right? This is our belly, right? And this is our rib cage. So, and then this is the head is a little bit too forward, I guess. And we're gonna move it back there, and that is our neck. So this is our torso, right? Sorry, it's our rib cage, and this is our belly, and this is our hip bones, right? So that is the angle. As you can see that they're not really like a straight tube like that. So they are kind of more shaped like that instead. So if you take a line, this is what we talked about in the previous series where we talk about the rib cage. But in this part, we're gonna talk about the hips, because the hips is also angled, just like the rib cage. It's just the other way around. The rib cage is angled that way, and then the hips is this way. So yeah, so but however, they both are angled. So yeah, so this is our leg, right? So yeah, so this is our waistline right here, right? And well, it is angled, just like our template. Let's bring our template, right? So this is the angle waist, and we've also got the angled hips, because well, it's not just the waist that is kind of angled, it's also the actual hip line itself. So yeah, they both are angled. However, when we come to the thigh, the thigh it's already it's basically both the thigh and then the arm itself is practically just a straight line. So you can make the thigh to be just a straight line, just like we already did. And so the one that is angled is just the hips and then the waistline. So that is the explanation for that. And yeah, let's hide our template. And first, let's rename our so for this let's call it waist, trouser waist, and then this is trousers hips, because yeah, just to give it, because the thing is, the waist, we also use the name waist for the dress, so if you just name it waist, it's gonna be kind of mixed up. So the next one is that, it's called thigh, this one is knee, and this one is ankle, right? That is our basic measurement before we're kind of angle this thing. So yeah, let's angle our waistline. So just like what we did on the rib cage, on the bust line, we just have to apply the shrink wrap, and then go to edit mode, and then select the middle point, and we're going to use our 3D cursor to rotate this thing, right? So yeah, so we can just rotate it, and I think it's minus 20 degrees is actually a good number. So let's see our template, and it is 20 degrees is actually a good number. So yes, next we just have to reapply our shrink wrap modifier. I'm just going to choose project, negative, and set the offset to be 5 millimeter. So voila, now it is angled. So however, oh, I kind of forget that, sorry, before we rotate it, the thing is, it's better that we kind of keep both the straight one and then the angled one. So let's just duplicate this one, and before we rotate it, minus 20 degrees, right? So we can see the difference in their size. So yeah, so let's do project, negative 5 millimeter. So this is the angle, right? Trousers angled waist, so that you can see which is which, right? So this is the angle, and then this is the straight line. The thing is, we're also gonna use the straight line actually later, so that's why we're gonna keep it intact. So the next one is the hips, and yeah, this is the hips, and we're gonna duplicate that and reapply the shrink wrap. And yeah, the thing is, before we duplicate that, I think it's better that there's this kind of groove thing, and it's kind of bad when it comes to measurement, because you want to measure it like a straight line. So yeah, so let's duplicate that and let's apply it. And now first we're gonna move this, we're gonna kind of flat them out, and you can use, this is a good time for us to start my shortcut, and we're gonna scale them along, scale them along the Y0, and then also the Z to be 0, so they are perfectly a straight line. And the next thing, we just have to bring them to the Y of this most forward vertex, and we're gonna move that there. So now it's beautiful straight line. So that is our hips. Yeah, so next we're gonna duplicate that again, and before we apply our shrink wrap modifier, and let's turn on our model. And first let's select the middle portion, the middle vertex of the hip line, and we're going to use the 3D cursor to rotate it. So yeah, now let's select the object, project, negative 5 millimeter. So now we are going to rotate it, but we're not going to rotate it as acute as the waistline, because the thing is, as I've explained before that the thigh is gonna be straight. So this is our waistline and this is our thigh, right? So the hips gonna be somewhere between that, the rotation of it. So this one is 0, right? Our thigh is perfectly straight line. Meanwhile, our waist is 20. So our angled hips will be like 10, something like that, because that is the middle point between 0 and minus 20 degrees. Sorry, it's 20 degrees. So 10 is going to be the half. So yeah, let's that is our measurement. So yeah, that is our angle, and let's rename it as angle hips. Okay, now the thing is, our original hips, well, we can actually delete that because we haven't kind of changed this groove thing, and we're gonna, yeah, we can remove that, and we're gonna change the name of this to hips. And yeah, now we're gonna also do the same thing with the angle because it seems to be like there's a groove here again. So we're gonna apply the shrink wrap, and we're gonna do exactly the same thing with bounding box, scale Y0, and also probably the Z should be also 0, and we're gonna put it into our 3D cursor, right? Selection to cursor, and they're gonna create this perfectly straight line, which is great. And yeah, now let's see that our template, and yeah, they are kind of similar. So we also have to deal with this groove around the butts. So yeah, so let's do that. So let's just pick the Y there and move it there, and we're gonna move it up along the Z, right? So that they create that beautiful straight line. Also this one, and yep, that is cool. And voila. Now let's see the reason why. So here's the thing, it's just something that to show you about why the angled waistline matters. So here's the thing, so here's a thought experiment, right? So if you kind of measure this with our measure it add-on, if you measure it, you would notice that the circumference of this straight waistline is 80 centimeters, right? Meanwhile, if you measure this thing, let's apply our shrink wrap first. Meanwhile, if you measure this thing, you will notice that their circumference is just 71. So there's literally like almost 10 centimeters difference between this straight line, straight waistline, and also this angled straight line. So yeah, so that is just a thought experiment, just to show you that you should make the angled version, because the thing is, if you're using this, it's gonna be way too big. So yeah, that is our yeah, that is our circumference. The next thing that we're gonna do is actually to deal with this trousers length. So for that one, we're gonna use our stick for this one, and let's hide that. And yeah, let's pick this one, and we're gonna use our 3D cursor so that, and then stick the origin to that point. So yeah, so for this line, we should actually put it somewhere around the middle of the thigh, right? As you can see that this is our previous measurement. So the line should cross somewhere in the middle of this. As you can see that this is the middle point of the thigh, and then the length measurement is roughly in the middle of that. So we should do the same with that in mind. So let's put it there, right? Let's put it something like that, and that's roughly similar. So now let's delete the vertex vertices, and then we can simply now extrude them. So let's pick that. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Now, okay, now let's extrude that to the bottom until it touches our ankle, right? So just to make it a little bit faster, you can just copy the Z and paste them into these transform properties, right? So that is our trousers length. Now we just have to move them forward, right, until it kind of a so it's until it's kind of a first it's gonna touching the. Now that's why I said that we should keep this straight waistline, even though we're not gonna use their circumference. We're just gonna use their point. So we're gonna anchor our trousers length right in the straight waistline. So yeah, that is why we keep that. And yeah, now the next thing, we just have to subdivide it, right? So, and we're gonna pull it to the hip line. And yeah, so to be honest, the thing is, you don't really have to kind of move this back so that it kind of fits the profile of the leg. To be honest, you can just keep it straight down, to be honest. So and that's gonna be okay. And yeah, so that is our. But however, you should still subdivide this like twice, so that you can measure the vertical division of this this line, right? So that is for one for the thigh, and this one is for the knee, right? So that is still, so even though that we make a straight line, you should still subdivide it to kind of know the position of each the circumference measurement. And yeah, that is our trousers length. And so let's hide our model for now, and this is our basic measurement. We're gonna start with the waist, the angled waist, and then the straight waist. This is the angled hips, and also this is the straight hips, even though that we don't actually use it, to be honest. We just have to just keep it just to see that, I guess. We've got the thigh, we've got the knee, and we've got the ankle. So that is our basic measurements, right? So yeah, so the next thing that we're gonna do is actually anyway, that is not our, let me see my cue card here. And the thing is that this is the basic measurements, meaning that this is not yet final. So we're gonna make other things before we go to drafting. So for now, we can actually measure this before we move along. And so yeah, let's apply our shrink wrap for all of these. And yeah, so apply our shrink wrap, right? The thing is, anyway, for that, for the knee and the ankle, the thing is, we're gonna create a kind of a So let's bring our this. And the thing is, for the outside series, the trousers is gonna be this kind of a wide hemmed, you know, trousers. As you can see that it's not ankle fitting, you know, it's not like kind of pencil trousers style. It's gonna be very loose trousers. So for this demonstration, we're gonna create a trousers where the ankle circumference is actually equal to that is of the thigh. So actually the measurement for the knee and the ankle doesn't really matter. So yeah, that is a little bit of the heads up. So now let's do our measurement view, and we already did that. So we got 71, and for this we don't have to measure it, and just there. So we're gonna measure our hip, the angled hip, and we're gonna measure the thigh. And for the sake of it, let's just segment our both the knee and the ankle, even though we're not gonna use it. So yeah, so let's bring my notepad and also our my favorite pinning thing. And yeah, so this is, let's go circumference, right? And for the first one is the waist angle, and it is 71. So we're gonna make 72, right? And yeah, now the waist, the hips angle is 795. Yeah. So for the thigh, we've got 56. So the thing is, for the knee, you can take the measurement just so that you can see, and you can use this later if in case you want to make a pencil style trousers. So I'm just gonna take it. So yeah, ankle, the ankle. So the thing is, you would see that this is 36.6. Shouldn't it be like 37? Well, I'm just rounding it because I know that these measurement, both everything here, it's gonna be divided by 4. So it should be dividable by 4, right? So 37 is not dividable by 4 to get a round number. So I'm just taking 436, and for the ankle, 24 centimeters. So the hips angle should be 96, so that we can divide it by 4. And yeah, so okay, now the next thing that we're gonna do is actually, so this is our basic circumference. Let's name it measurement trousers. As you can see that I've did it before once for this case. And also now let's do the length, right? Our trousers length, right? Trousers length. And our trousers length is, so sorry, wrong tab. Now segment. So in total it's 90 centimeters, right? However, the division of it, let's show it, right? So that is the division. So from the waistline to the hip line, it's gonna be 10. And from the waist to the thigh, it's gonna be another 10. For the thigh to the knee, it's gonna be 28. And from the knee to the ankle, it's gonna be 42. Right? So let's check this up. This checks out, right? 10 and 10, 20, 28, 42, and that makes 70. And that is a correct 70 and 90 centimeters. So So yeah, so that is a good number. And yeah, so this is the basic measurement. Sorry, let's hide it for now. And so this is the visual of our basic measurement. This is not yet final, and this is the written version of it. And first, let's process this first, right? 72.4 divided by 4, we've got 1080, right? And for the hips, divided by 4, we've got 24, right? For the thigh. So, okay, the thigh is 56. So, sorry that, the thing is, the one that is divided by 4 is actually just for the waist and the hips. The thigh, the knee, and the ankle, they are gonna be, so it should be divided by 4, but for the reason that I'm gonna explain later, on paper they should actually just be divided by 2, right? However, it should still be able to be divided by 4. So the thigh 56, and we'll get 28, right? For the knee, we will get 18, right? So for the ankle, we've got 12 centimeters. So that is our first basic measurement. So yeah, that is our first measurement.